Sup, y'all? Breezy here, and this is Southern Grace and Sass. We are on episode 35, and I have been recording all day, and my voice is starting to hurt. So if you hear me start yawning and stuff, just know I am tired, and I'm trying to get all this pre-recorded so I don't have to, so I can make some time for y'all. I promise. I'm just super busy, but I'm not busy enough for y'all though. But today we're going to talk about being a black sheep. And no, that is okay if you're the black sheep. Hell, I'm the black sheep in my bio family for crying out loud. And I was always taught that being a black sheep is a bad thing. Honestly, it's not a bad thing. But if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Have a girl out. So, today, I want to talk about briefly. There's a song by Alana Springsteen. For those of you who don't know, she's a country singer. And she has a new album out because I hope this helps. And this is one of one of the best songs on the album, if you ask me. But in verse one, it goes, "Raised in a small town bubble. They said that one was trouble. When I left, my eyes were open. I knew since I was younger I wasn't like my mother." Amen to that one. I'm not like my bio mom, that's for sure. Also, not like my bio dad. Um, and heaven knows I love her. And the pre-chorus goes, "I had to break to fit in and wanted something different." Let's be honest, I was never going to fit in. I was meant to be the black sheep in a way and not, because I was bullied in school for a lot of things. But yeah. But it also goes, "Black sheep. I'm tired of making everyone happy. I used to belong and blend in so badly. But if being happy means that I can't be me, then I'd rather be a black sheep." Yep. How many of us all I mean, at one point we all thought about blending in, guys. Let's be honest. But here's the thing: it's okay to want to not have to blend in and to be ourselves. At the end of the day, I mean, Lilo's the best example of being a black sheep. Then there's the pre-chorus: "I'm learning how to be good, being misunderstood." Um, then it goes on to repeat the chorus. Um, but yeah. Then there's the verse 3, and that goes, "Can't believe I thought it was a weakness when God's someone who made me this." And God made us who we are. He made us in the eyes of His image. And He knew us, like He knew us when He created us at the end of the day. And He still loves us. Just remember that. But the final chorus goes, "Black sheep looking in the mirror, I'm finally happy. I used to want to um, right in, blend right in so badly. But if being one means that I can't be me, then I'd rather be a black sheep." Now, there's a story behind this song. Now, this is a song about self-acceptance, and it was released March 13, 2026, and it serves as the second single from the sophomore album. I hope this helps. Excuse me. Now, the song does make a significant shift in perspective, moving from the fear-based faith to self-abandoning patterns. But here's some key details I would love to go over with y'all. Um, it's about transformation, authenticity, and finding strength in being different. And there's a pivotal moment in the song where the script has been flipped to the black term black sheep. Because can't believe I thought it was my weakness when God is the one that made me the black sheep. Yes. So why does being the black sheep matter? Well, this song was written um as a way as it would have been a timid plea to understand. Instead, it's a healing process, a sunlit counterpart. Think about it. We had no to self, now we have black sheep. So, um, but yeah. But that's had me bring me to ask you, Who are some famous black sheeps that you can think of? Malcolm X is one of them. And if you don't know who Malcolm X is, you've been living under a rock. But for those of you who don't know, he was born Malcolm Little and he drifted apart from his family's expectations into the life um, on the streets before transforming into one of the most powerful, controversial forces in the civil rights. He famously shed his slave name to reclaim his identity. Then there's Harry Washington, and he was enslaved by George Washington. Um, yes, our famous president has slaves. Who knew, right? Now, Harry became the ultimate black sheep of the Mount Vernon estate, and escaping to fight for the British in exchange for his freedom, eventually hoping to find a colony of the free settlers in Sierra Leone. Some more black sheeps you may know of. Johnny Cash. Hello. I really wanted to start singing Ring of Fire, but I do not want to ruin your eardrums. But he was known as the Man in Black, and he was very much a black sheep in the country music world. And he preferred playing for prisoners and playing for polite society over polite society. He never shied away from his struggles with his addiction and his faith. Another famous black sheep, Bob Marley. He grew up biracial in Jamaica. He didn't fully fit into our world. And he used the feeling of displacement and fueled this into his faith and reggae music, becoming a global symbol for peace and resistance. Another famous black sheep you might have heard of, Muhammad Ali. Um, but yeah, but he was a black sheep um, of of sports when he refused to the the Vietnam draft, and changed his name to Cassius Clay, and he was stripped of his titles and banned from boxing, only to return as an international icon of conviction. Interesting, right? But some more famous black sheeps. Um, Joaquin Phoenix. He was born into a cult and he escaped. Prince Harry. Do I really need to go into the history of that one? I think he's pretty famous, and I think you know why he's a black sheep. Then there's a literal black sheep called the Black Welsh Mountain Sheep. In an animal kingdom, black sheep were historically disliked because their wool wouldn't be dyed. However, Welsh shepherds eventually realized that these sheep were harder, more self-reliant, and produced a premium wool that didn't need to be changed. So, is being a black sheep beneficial? Well, being a black sheep of a family or a social group is often framed as a burden from a psychological and personal growth perspective, but honestly, to me, it's actually pretty powerful. And you don't fit into this mold and you stop trying to squeeze in. So, but I thought I'd give you some advantages and reasons. You have self discovery. There's like while you follow your own path and you beat to your own drum, and you develop this robust sense of much earlier than those in the herd. The result, your identity is first forged through choice, not default. You also have a high resilience and independence. For example, being the odd one out involves a degree of social and familiar friction. While that's tough, it builds thick skin. And you become less dependent on external validations, and you gain emotional immunity and required to take risks others find too socially terrifying to attempt. Then there's the power of the out of the box thinking. And this benefits us because we are already viewed the world through a different lens, and you see different spots and solutions that the white sheep miss. And most black sheeps like this become successful entrepreneurs, artists, activists, and the black sheep of their inner circles. Also, you define your own tribe. This leads to your chosen family. For me, I've always found that water has been thicker than blood. Just saying. But this support system is deeper and more intentional. Now, let's do a quick for like if let's compare this a little bit, okay guys? There's the traditional path, which is safety, stability, validation, um, and linear progression. But there's the black sheep path, which most of us take, where it's freedom, growth, validation, and being adaptive. But what is some? So you're probably wondering, am I the black sheep of my family? Do I need to be different? If so, what do I need to know? How do I know I'm the black sheep? Well, you're labeled difficult, or you feel like an expat in your own home. Like you keep distance from everyone. And this sounds like you find yourself masking or forming a version of yourself just to get through the holiday dinner. You are a truth teller. Yeah. In many families. And this is a sign you're often labeled as dramatic, sensitive, difficult, because you react to toxic behaviors that others have normalized. You succeed, your successes are minimalized or ignored. And if you win in a world in a field that they don't value or hit a milestone that doesn't look like theirs, their conversation quickly shifts to someone who followed the traditional path. You're often the default blame taker. You're the scapegoat. Everyone knows that. And you have a radical difference in views. You value authentic, you value being authentic and being over harmony, whereas the rest of the group values loyalty and truth. Now, let's put it on a spectrum for a minute, okay? I'm gonna give a scenario, okay? And this is the polar opposite. For example, how it feels. You are the only artist in the family. Um, because natural diversity and personality interest. You're the rule breaker, and you're the emotional mirror. How many of us pretend we don't care, but decide we really do? Yep. But take it from me, there is a silver lining. And you are the cycle breaker. You're the one breaking generational trauma and everything else that comes. And you need to know that it's okay if you're a black sheep. Hello? I like being a black sheep. It works out perfectly in my favor. Um, but you also lose a lot of people in the process, but that's okay. Um, so here's some things to remember if you're the black sheep. You aren't broken, you're just different. And being different is okay, honestly. You're a cycle breaker. You're breaking the cycles that were very toxic and needed to be broken. You choose to be yourself over the approval of others. And at the end of the day, that's okay. You lead your own herd. That's basically it. You create your own map. So, let's talk about something. Most of the time, um, if you haven't hit that point yet, but just remember, it's okay to set boundaries and change your minds. You're also seeking a chosen family, and you define success on your own terms as well. Um, I do want to leave this with a quote though for you. The black sheep is the one who finds the way out of the rest of the flock. There you go. But thanks for tuning in. Next week the next episode will be our Mother's Day special. Remember to go love your moms. They love you more. Or if you don't have a mom, find your adopted chosen mom. Just saying.